for the 9th episode of the A15 Exchange. And ladies and gentlemen, I have a guest for the very first time. Fellas, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Jamal Smith.
Trevor Marsh.
Just it. That's all we need. Yeah, very excited. Had a lot happen in sports this past week. A lot happened in music. A little bit of television in there for you. So, without further ado, we're going to hop straight into the NBA. We had Game 3 last night.
Jimmy Buckets.
Jimmy.
But the game is his life.
The game of his life.
Arguably one of the best, finals games.
In recent memory.
40-point triple-double, Hardest working man in the court, all time is going to be Jimmy Buckets.
You don't think so? All time?
All time. Hardest working man.
He's going to be the hardest working on the court.
Hardest working man on the court is Jimmy Buckets.
Of all time. Not all time.
No, all time.
Okay.
But
that's what I had a problem with. We saying like right now, like
for sure. For sure.
He will not be the best player on his team at a certain time, but he's still gonna be the hardest working, bro.
He could drop 5 one night and then
just
drop
a
40
dog.
the other. That shit crazy. Like being able to
he plays by what's needed. He'll never try to do more than what's needed out of him.
He'll switch it on and off.
And it's crazy.
He doesn't need to score to be effective on the court.
It's crazy because he was looked at before he went to. He was looked at as like a bad teammate or something.
I ain't gonna lie, that nigga had a couple. I was looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with Jimmy Butler? But they didn't release that damn tape of the Timberwolves practice. I'd pay for that.
Well,
they could put it on paper.
I would pay for it.
They could put it on paper.
I know. He had to dog them out, bro.
He scored
He
all
said,
at once.
I want the third string. That's what he said.
Yeah, I wonder how Minnesota and Philly are also feeling. Philly got rid of him last
I know
year.
they 6 of their
Sick. Philly shouldn't have let Jimmy go or JJ run it.
Yeah.
JJ spread out.
They just set it up something.
They don't have any type of floor spacing without.
Because that's the problem with the Sixers with Embiid and with Simmons. They're a good duo, but the rest of the players
Yeah,
have to be able to shoot.
Al Horford is a big
There's no shooting on the team.
Josh Richardson is like the best shooter, and that nigga.
He don't even. He's not consistent.
He's not. Tobias Harris hit 2, and that's it. They have a lot of.
It's weird. They have a lot of good.
Like I don't know how.
If you look at their lineup and the names, you think these things would be dogs, but they got sweat.
It's like their games. They just have a lot of good forwards for real.
They gotta make some.
Everybody is a forward.
Everybody's a forward on that team. It's weird.
These niggas playing big ball.
Oh yeah, if you hear somebody on camera, that's Will. He's my part of the friend group. So we'll just say what's up. You don't have to get
What's up? I got on shit, so.
But yeah, like we were saying, Sixers continue to underperform. They just new head coach, right? Is it Doc?
Yeah, Doc. He stole that shit from Tyronn Lue, but he might be the Clippers head coach now. Yeah.
Tyronn.
That's who they.
Yeah, I think
that's who they looking at.
They're gonna just promote him.
They already got the chemistry.
Like how the Raptors promoted Nick Nurse and Dwayne Casey.
That was fucked up. That was like the worst. Like this nigga won coach of the year.
That's clearly he got fired.
That was crazy. But Nick Nurse is good.
Where's the win?
I don't know where Dwayne
Pistons.
He's a Pistons.
Yeah, he with the
I
Pistons.
mean,
it's the injuries. But they got a breakout star coming up, Christian Wood. Like before the bubble.
He's a hard worker, bro. He's a hard worker because he had to work his way up from the G League for real.
Oh yeah.
Was he with the Bucks?
Yeah, he was with the Bucks.
He was supposed to break out right before quarantine. Like I started following him.
Nah, he
was a dog.
He was doing good for real.
And Blake Griffin, body of glass. So you think more injury prone, him or 80?
I said Blake.
I said Blake.
Yeah.
We gotta slide back to the Heat Lakers. Don't want to hear any more of the Heat slander and about the quality of opponent the Lakers are playing. I think I said that in a tweet last night, so I'll pop it up somewhere. But yeah, Heat, they prove why they're here. Jimmy's a dog. This is the perfect team for him. They got the perfect culture. Spo's one of the best coaches, probably a future Hall of Fame coach if I'm being honest.
For sure.
No, that's a Hall of Fame coach.
That's
a Hall of Fame
coach. How many rings he got?
I don't think he's ever going to
Two.
two.
Well, he got two as head coach when he was an assistant.
Yeah.
On the previous team, so I think he has rings.
I don't think he's not gonna leave the Heat, bro. He's gonna be like a Popovich.
I think he should be.
Whether they win or lose, this finals.
He got him there with the team he has.
Hold up, now don't disrespect the team he has.
That's a
Compared
compared to LeBron
the
and the
Lakers, he beat the Bucks. Who else they beat? The Celtics.
It's a solid team though.
It is a solid team, but that coaching.
But
everyone on that team can play ball. That's not to say everyone.
I'm saying that coaching is some different shit because of who the competition. You don't gotta coach from niggas. Some niggas hoop. Niggas they play against hoop.
The thing about the Heat is, bro, they play basketball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They go out there and they give it all.
A lot of teams aren't designed to really play basketball. They're just designed.
They got two niggas that go out there
and they know how to pick themselves back up. Cause you look at that game 1 loss, anyone else would have been like it's over. After the way they lost game 1, but after the game they were talking about what they could have done.
I mean, I can tell they weren't gonna give up. They're not that type.
No, that's not
That's my point.
Which is why, and also I think stylistically they're a very good matchup for the Lakers, which is why I had the series going, like I said last week in my prediction, to 6 to 7 games. Because stylistically, this is a great matchup for the Heat. It's a very interesting matchup. The Lakers may have the 2 best players in the series in Bron and AD, but the Heat have the 3rd best player. They have the 4th best player. They have the 5th best player.
They have the pieces.
They have the depth advantage.
I still
over
say
the
Heat
Lakers.
7.
He's got Heat in 7.
I got Lakers.
I still
got
Lakers.
I'm gonna stand on my Lakers.
Y'all can have it.
If we come back next week,
Think about it. Is,
Don't ever count that boy.
I'm not counting out. I'm not counting
Don't ever
out.
count him
But
out.
my thing is, it's only so much that. I mean, like, those are 2 generational talents, bro. You feel me?
I feel you.
It's only so much.
Bam is hurt. Gordon Dragic is hurt.
They
They
say hard work beats talent when talent feels work hard, but that talent been working real hard.
Hey, we'll see. Hey,
What y'all think the Lakers did wrong last night?
Last night,
Yeah.
last night they didn't shoot well and they didn't finish. Bron had
they had a rough
I
start.
think 7 or so.
Yeah, it was a rough start.
AD only had 16 points. I think we pulled it up here.
Markeith outscored this man.
AD had 15, 5, and 3. Markeith Morris had 19 points.
What the fuck?
Hey,
Yeah, well, it wasn't.
Kelly Olynyk's outscored.
I don't even know how Markeith Morris can score. Like, you give me that thing on 2K, I'm running pick and rolls. I don't know what to do with him. What is he good at? What was he doing?
Yesterday he was shooting. He shot the 3 pretty well. He was just kind of opportunistic with it.
That's cool. That's cool. What about Danny Green?
Danny Green had 2 points. KCP had 5
Uh,
points. Dwight in 15 minutes had 4
He didn't even have 3 points. He was a 3-point
Danny
shooter.
Green had 2
Rondo
points.
had 4
Bro,
points.
how much is he getting?
How much did he pull though?
How
I
much
feel
did
like
he
I
get?
saw him
like
pull up.
15 million.
He get 15 million?
Something like that.
15 million for 2 points?
How many shots did Danny Green pull up last night? Cause
15
I
million
swear I saw him
for 2
pull.
points,
He pulled a lot. I swear I saw him pull a
bro.
good bit.
What? He's getting 15 million just to get 2 more points than you.
Put me in
Bro,
there.
I can do that. I didn't even think about it like that.
Come
I'm
on,
sitting
bro.
here and I'm about to score as many points.
Bro, we in college shit.
If they put me out there, I'm at least dropping 3.
Boy, give me that one
Give
quick.
me a
I'm a bullshit.
Give me a fast break.
Y'all wanted to know what was the Danny Green
I'm gonna
split?
go 1 for 1. I ain't gonna try again.
17 minutes, 0 for 6, 0 from 4 from 3.
You said 0 for 6, so he shot free throws.
So it was a free throws.
He got one job.
He had more personal
That's
fouls
shoot
than
threes.
points. He had 3 fouls, 2 points.
Danny
So my
Green
question-
slander all 2020.
So my question to the Lakers is,
Bro, he has
Hold on,
one job.
what slander is worse, Danny Green or Paul George?
Danny Green.
Paul George more.
Well, Paul George is more high profile. So
Yeah.
It is more.
So his slander is more worldwide.
Yeah.
Who cares about Danny Green?
But Danny Green.
Danny Green has had
He's
some
so
consistency.
bad.
Danny Green has never been the best
Danny
player.
Like,
on
your
any of
job
his
is
teams,
to
so.
hit
Well,
that
he
three,
used to be
bro.
real.
That's his only
Danny
job.
Green
As a role, he was a
Yeah, he
real
was a
role player.
solid 3 and D guy.
solid. He was
But
a
right now
solid-
he's just a D
He
guy.
just been.
Paul George is fucking Paul George. Like, that shit is bad.
Oh, speaking of Paul George, did you know that Steve Ballmer tried to trade the whole team? Like when they,
yeah.
when they got blown up in year 1, that he wanted to get rid of staff and everyone. Like,
Yeah, he was like, the only person not traded was Kawhi or some shit.
like everyone was available.
Also, part of the reason why he fired Doc, they had some differences when drafting. So when Michael Porter Jr. was going off against them, Ballmer wanted to draft in those 2 spots that they ended up giving up that were SGA and I forget who the other pick was. He wanted to take Michael Porter Jr. with one of those picks. Doc and the rest of some of the front office relented, You saw how that happened. MPJ ends up with the Denver Nuggets, and right now he's healthy. He showed out against them. So
They gave
That would have been real.
They gave Doc a little too much power.
That would have been real. They did.
They did.
Cause like then he had like
Doc had basic control of the team.
yeah.
He was the real second in command behind Steve.
If you think about it, Doc Rivers, he's just played with some like Hall of Famers. Like that's really what it is.
Rivers, he's a good
Like,
coach, but like he's living off of that 2008 championship.
I did. Now that I think about it, like the team he coached to the finals, that shit was stacked. Like all of them.
Any coach honestly could have led us to the finals.
Yeah.
Think about it. Any
He
coach
had
could
so
led
much
us to the
talent
finals.
just to not make.
But the rep he's gotten off of that run, you know,
Yeah.
I think it kind of went to his head.
Because if you think about it, he failed with Lob City. You look at the team now.
They should have won something.
They should have won something. They should have at least got to the conference
They should
finals.
have at least won conference finals, like minimum. They should have won that, but they didn't even win that.
They didn't even get to the conference.
This year,
That was
they
a
should have
disappointment.
at least made it to the conference.
Yeah, I was looking for a Lakers. Clippers
That was the
conference
real. That was the real matchup everybody was looking for.
and then these niggas blew it 3-1.
I still don't understand how that happened.
And now in retrospect, when I think about that Clippers-Lakers matchup in the playoffs, I'm kind of thinking the Lakers would have done. Because especially the way those last two matchups that they played in, I guess, which one classifies the regular season, where it was clear those first two matchups, the Clippers looked like a better team, talent showdown, whatever. The Lakers, like they've done, I guess, throughout the playoffs, and we'll see if they do it here against the Heat, they had adapted. They had adapted the game plan, Ron and Rondo, and I guess I'll give Frank Vogel a little bit of a shout out. They had adapted to the Clippers' play style. They were starting to dog them out. And as we saw in that Denver series, the Clippers don't have any dogs in there. They don't have anybody.
The Clippers got talent.
They got
not
talent.
a team. My thing about the Clippers is, it's weird. It's like the whole like season they played like they're really not a team. Like they haven't gelled. Like their chemistry is not there. And they've had I don't know how many games to do it, but they just never gel.
I feel like they're never really all on the court at the same time.
That's true. Like, young, so all these people, they kind of like do their own shit since they veterans. You know, veterans they're not really listening to nobody. It's you the veteran. Like all of them are old as fuck. They have nobody
But
else.
even at that, they should have some type of chemistry, bro. They went through the whole like regular season and all that stuff.
I think that was part of the adverse effects of them doing the whole low management.
Yeah,
they
they never
had a
played
prolonged
together.
period where they
Had to play
played together and were able to build that chemistry and build an identity as a
They
team.
had,
Yeah, because it seemed like them niggas hate ball.
and I think they had a little
They
bit.
don't respect Paul.
No, they had some preferential treatment for Paul George because like he would like come into practice like certain days and stuff. Same thing with Kawhi. Kawhi would not come one day or something. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But if Kawhi is Kawhi.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But Paul George, I don't know. I guess he felt like he was a leader on that team. Like, and when he made that little speech after they lost, they're like, bro, what is he talking about?
He's in the role. He wasn't in the role to do that speech.
Like, you're not in that.
Everyone that lost her, I feel like he was the last person that should have given that speech.
I know they was looking at him like,
Bro, we lost because of you.
That's one of those moments where he's got to be humble and sit down.
Yeah.
He was trying to do too much.
I know you think you a leader, but like, you the reason why they can't.
Like there were so many opportunities for Paul George to be effective in the court, even if it wasn't scoring.
It didn't have to
just
be
never
scored,
showed,
bro.
Like, it just.
Alright. I know it's a little early, but what are our predictions for next season? We even
Next
on
season?
camera.
Next season.
Well, I was about to do
Let's
that
see
to
the
kind
draft
of
first.
close out.
Okay.
At least for the Clippers side, I'm very interested to see what they do. Montrez is now a free agent.
Oh shit.
Out of here.
So I do not. Their window is closing very fast, and
They
they
don't got
sold their
picks.
future to the Thunder. They don't have any picks for the next 5
Yeah, they said the next time they get a pick, they're sixth graders right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sixth
I think
grade.
it's like 8 years. No
Yeah.
first round.
they done.
So this wouldn't happen.
If it worked, next year, I don't know how it'll go, but if next year don't shake,
this
I think
championship
it's over.
will
Yeah.
bust.
It's over.
Like they got
How much cap space do they have?
What
What no Paul George contract is
Yeah,
big as
they
fuck.
What cap?
And Louisville and
Even Pat Bev getting paid low key.
Stop it.
Yo.
their window is right now.
They wanted to win right now.
was Steve, bro, I'd be mad too, bro. I'm sorry.
I see why you trying to trade everybody.
I'm
He
like,
took
nope.
a big gamble and it almost paid off,
Until the
but
day.
it blew up in his face at the last minute.
Yeah.
But it, honestly, if you look at it, you look back on it, it was a simple fix. Just if the chemistry was, I thought the chemistry.
If the chemistry was there, they could
that
have.
series would have gone completely different.
Yeah.
They did almost lose to Luka. Like, just Luka.
Just Luka.
Because Kid Strasser got hurt.
Yeah, he
He
was
was
hurt.
hurt.
And that's the other thing that I talked about.
No,
in the
you're
early-
Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Luka is Luka. Like, Luka's real, but he's not Kawhi.
The Clippers weren't supposed to. The
Luka
Clippers
and
were
Paul
supposed
George,
to.
you taking Paul George?
I'm taking.
You taking pandemic P over Luka? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, because I seen what. Bro, I can't take Paul George or Luka.
I
I would really want to. Because Paul George is one of my favorite.
He's saying both of those talents combined
Should have been.
Should have been.
Yeah.
The Clippers were supposed to actually.
But think about it like this though.
That's what it is.
When they're both on the court, I hate to say it,
They
they don't deliver like
They
that.
don't deliver.
When they're both on the court,
We gotta
they
look at
don't
like
deliver.
they're.
Yeah, I think we were thinking. I think
But in
Bill
the
was
background,
mentioning.
That is not a good fit with each other.
I feel like
they do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Kawhi just do it better.
Like, it's Kawhi.
like honestly, defensively they should have been the best team in the league. Think about it.
They was top 2 in defensive rating.
Yeah, but ready to show against the Nuggets.
They couldn't score. That's what it was. If you watch that last game in the fourth quarter, these niggas went
Yeah, this
half
one
the
shot.
gas.
One shot with 4 for.
They were gassed. They were asking Doc to sit out.
And I gave credit to the Nuggets. Jamal Murray, Jokic played the.
Oh yeah,
shit out of
no,
them.
we're not discrediting the Nuggets, nothing like that. Like they played their hearts out. Like,
Yeah, to close up for the NBA, as you see, we got a lot to talk about for that one. But close up for that, we think this Heat Lakers series is going to be a very entertaining finals, at least for like a neutral viewer. It's going to be a 6 or 7 game series. I think everybody kind of is familiar. So
Lakers and Six.
You get 7.
let's slide to music and film. Of course, 21 and Metro came back
I'm gonna be real.
with Savage Mode
The
2.
Savage Mode 2, it didn't hit like it was supposed to. I mean, I could tell he worked real hard on the album, but some of the songs I just don't think they hit like they were supposed to.
When him like Savage Mode.
So you telling me that many thing ain't hit like it was supposed to?
I said some of the songs.
I was about to say when that Metro call, bro.
Yeah. I think definitely adding Morgan Freeman in there helped.
I feel like for the music, for all the music we've had this year, it doesn't stack up.
It
It
doesn't.
doesn't stack up to the music that we've had this year, but in its own right, Savage Mode 2, in some ways, is better than the successor of Savage Mode. You know, it's a solid album.
Yeah.
Some misses, you know. I feel like the tone isn't really completely, you know, Savage Mode worthy. Like, you know, there's some kind of slow songs, like, you know, that don't really match the flow. You know,
One
thoughts
song-
coming in.
One song where he blew it for me, Snitches and Rats.
You don't like Switches and Rats?
No, he didn't come in like he was supposed to. He was supposed to
For
come
the
in hard.
for the interlude, I feel like he could have came higher than what we gave. We got like Moody, it was solid.
Yeah.
I feel like you put Baby on that, and you give us some harder bars. It could be charting right now.
I just knew Lil Baby was gonna be on that album.
Quite possibly the artist of 2020 Lil Baby.
Little Baby.
My type of the albums.
Lamborghini boys, where it at, baby?
Sad.
I enjoyed the project. I think Metro did his thing. I mean, 21 for the most part, he did his thing.
Metro always gonna do this thing regardless.
Yeah.
So like, it ain't even up to Metro. Like, that was
It's
all
not.
21. That's why I really didn't hit like it's supposed to.
Of course, I mean, overall, I wouldn't say it was a miss. It was still a solid project, like you said. Standout songs? Anybody else?
Standout songs. Gotta give it up to R.I.P. Love and Many Men. Those my two songs from the album.
Those your two?
Those my two. That is
Definitely R.I.P. Love. And I'm gonna have to say Rich Nigga Shit.
Rich nigga shit.
Yeah. I fuck with Love part.
I was feeling running. I know he dropped a music video for that. He took the Grammy kind of hilarious.
Also got to give a shout out to the Snitches and Rats interlude with Morgan.
Oh, the interlude.
Oh yeah, big ups. I don't know. Credit to them. Somehow they got Morgan Freeman on this.
He really broke down.
That was the budget for the album cover. It was a Morgan.
Really?
Yeah, it has to. Look at the album cover. It looked like a little 03 album cover for a mixtape.
Yeah, it was. I think that's what they were doing. That same thing with what they did on Stepping on Niggas.
Yeah.
So the right to the Deep South. So that was Savage Mode 2. Bryson Tiller came back with Anniversary. I don't know if y'all listened to it.
I haven't gotten to it all the way. I got to like the first 2 songs. I had to go back to that Savage Mode 2. But I'm glad Bryson Tiller finally back out there doing this music because
It's been a while.
it's been a long while. And you know that sophomore album really hit like the OG trap songs. So from what I'm hearing out here, Anniversary. Delivery, so I'm glad that boy Bryson back in there.
I would agree with that statement. I think he delivered. I'm not gonna put it, of course, on Trap Soul Heights because I mean that's a classic. I really think we need to kind of like, for his sake,
Let's do it.
for Bryson's sake, we need to stop like trying to compare everything to Trap Soul because
Not
not everything is gonna be
Yeah.
Trap Soul. Like you can still put out a good project and it's not Trap Soul. So Songs was the standout track for me, I think. Drake had a good verse on
That boy Drake on the album?
yeah.
I ain't even know.
Drake, he was on 21.
I feel like I remember hearing it, but I don't remember it.
It was on Mr.
like
Right.
that.
It didn't hit for me at first. And Drake is possible.
Nah, these boys hit us with a remaster. I feel like that remaster is gonna hit.
Yeah.
If we get a Savage Mode 2 remaster, I feel like I mean not the deluxe, but I feel like it's gonna hit.
For nothing going on in the film, of course, as we know, all the movie theaters are closed. Hopefully, y'all don't go out of business because there's a
Wait, they're
couple.
about to open back up.
They are about to open back up. I guess you're in show.
The movie theater?
Tenant. Gotta see that. I spoke about that a couple weeks ago. Gotta see that. 2021 is gonna be very, very stacked. TV shows, The Boys, second to last episode, fire show. As I've said the past, 6 weeks. If you're not watching it, go watch it. Possibly, well, I'm gonna say it's personally my favorite show on television right now. Any TV shows y'all watching right now?
Right now?
Boys too.
I'm waiting for All American.
They did just start shooting season 3, I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Alright, we're going into this NFL little segment here. Starting with the Browns and the Cowboys.
Chris, what happened?
What's up with y'all
What's up,
boys?
We have no defense, to be honest.
Y'all let Odell have his best game as a
The
Brown.
Browns didn't even have like Chubb, bro.
They might as well send the 4 of us, well, 5 of us.
Put me in. Put
5 of
me
us. Nice little 10-day contract, put us on the practice squad because we have absolutely no secondary.
So, who guarded Odell?
Hey, bro. Sign me up, bro. I'll take it.
You got
I'll
it,
take
boy.
it. Hey, he still gonna have 130. He's still gonna put 130 on me, but I'll take it.
I'll let Chris he'll get a call.
$500,000 to get burnt just a little bit from the week.
Trevor be a safety.
The Browns have been type solid. What are they?
Yeah, they gear 1. Yeah, Browns put on. Shout out to them. They've kind of helped gotten an identity as a team with the run first offense with Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Jarvis Landry, and of course Odell had the game of his life yesterday against us.
So this playoff
was
team,
there.
It's the first time
Browns,
Odell
they could be.
looked like Odell.
like 10-6 finish, 10-6, 11-5.
I can see it because they got a defense too. Myles Garrett, I know he's been overshadowed last year because of the helmet thing, but he was number 1 pick for a reason.
Yeah, he was going crazy.
He's got 3 strip sacks this year. Was dominant. We had nobody who could block him yesterday. They got a good little secondary. So yeah, shout out to the Browns. Cowboys, I'm gonna get to the NFC. Well, I can get to the NFC East later. It's not good. It's not good for us right now. Next, we have the Bengals and the Jaguars. Shout out to Joe Burrow, Rookie of the Year.
Burrow.
They need to get that man a line.
Boy,
He
300
be running
yards.
for his life.
But he be putting up yards even without that line.
Yeah.
Like, even without it, he still be putting up solid numbers.
Yesterday, Joe 25-36, 300 yards passing, a touchdown and a pick. Shout out to Joe Mixon. He had 3 touchdowns yesterday, had 151 rushing. Tyler Boyd continues to improve. Jacksonville, I think everybody pretty much expected them to be in contention for the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. Though Minshew has actually not been a bad quarterback, to be honest. So we'll see what they do with their draft position. We'll see how they do the rest of the year. Cincy, that's their first win of the year also. The Saints and the Lions. Saints win 35-29.
What you got to say, man?
As a Saints fan, as someone from New Orleans, bro, I'm happy we finally got that win without Michael Thomas, bro, because it was having the word in me, bro,
That's
because
scary.
it was one of those things for us where we were looking at Drew and we're like, can you win without Michael? You know, like, can you really carry your team without Michael? Like, it just seemed like he's a crutch to him, you know. But you know, they went out there, Emmanuel Sanders did his thing, and considering, you know, Detroit's a defensive team, you know, it was good to see that we rounded it out and we got that dub.
Shout out to Kamara. He's been looking like almost the number one receiver and the number one running back.
AK is a different breed.
Bob, receiver.
He honestly might be a big
I think he was last week. I don't know about this week, but
Emmanuel Sanders played a good game. 6 receptions, 93 yards.
he could finish with 1,000-yard receiver. I could see that. Or like close to like 800, 900-yard receiver.
I can see that too.
That's that McCaffrey shit.
They both just different breeds. They came in the same draft class too, but they just different titles.
Seahawks MVP candidate Russell Wilson, probably the early season MVP.
Playing out of his mind.
Playing out of his mind.
He always do this stuff.
Had another
He
2
started the
touchdowns.
season hard.
No, last time the Seahawks went 4-0, right?
Let's talk about that boy DK though. That boy DK Metcalf.
4 receptions, 106
Yeah,
yards.
That's a dog. But outside of that drop, you know, that drop catch.
Oh, that's
That boy is a dog.
He's a dog.
He gonna finish. I think this year he gonna finish top 5.
Some of these rookies is going crazy. Like,
Yeah. This was a really good class for wide receiver. Actually, overall, it was a good rookie class. But especially for wide receivers these past years, we've had really good receiver classes coming in. And, seeing a bit of a youth movement.
We'll see like that height and speed. You know, like they're coming in like 6'3", 6'4", but then they're also coming with this like, you know, 4.4, 4.3 type of speed. You know, you don't really see that often.
That combination.
Think about DK.
DK, that's a dog. Like I feel like DK is gonna be our version of Tyler Johnson. Like, boy, got hands, height, strength, and
that's a big that's a big shoes to fill in.
But I feel like anyone in the league can do it right now. Like that's perfect. You know,
he's got the physical profile.
Yeah,
that's him.
He has the tools.
That is him. You know, height, strength.
I don't know if he's gonna do it.
He's doing it right now. I mean, he's honestly doing it right now. So what?
Calvin Johnson was fucking different. It surprised me when he retired. That shit was just like, okay.
He retired because they wasn't going.
Yeah, they wasn't
going to work. It's weird with Lions.
You can only get paid so much to the point where you no longer enjoy what
I think they still owe him, bro.
Like,
damn.
They haven't paid him.
He had like an Andrew Luck type of retirement. This nigga went to the game and said, all right.
like he woke up one morning and was like,
he was getting killed.
He was getting bread, but he was
getting hits. His O line was terrible.
Talking about Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
Also,
He's talking about
yeah.
Which is funny because now the Colts have one of the best offensive lines in the league. Now they drafted Quentin Nelson and some other guys.
That sucks. Bro.
As soon as Andrew Luck leaves,
They get tired of getting hit. These niggas balling on the draft the O line.
I mean, they can afford it now that he's gone though.
True. His
His
contract
contract is
was
pretty big.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
That's one thing about sports though. Everyone wants help, but then they want these super big contracts. So you can't afford help.
Right.
You know, you gotta give and take.
I
Yeah.
don't know how the Chiefs did it, bro. They just pulled.
Them niggas
They
pulled.
play with salary cap on.
money.
They ain't got salary cap on.
They don't got
them and the Rams feel like they got the salary cap.
But it's gonna show in later years when they're out here playing.
Yeah, we gonna see it,
6th
like,
or 7th round picks. Cause
We gonna
they
see
don't
it
have
in a few
any
years.
choice.
But
You know, everyone can get paid till someone can't, and that's when it all falls apart. When that one person don't get paid.
exactly.
Speaking of teams that spend a fortune, the Buccaneers 38, Chargers 31. Like I said, I think the Buccaneers over the course of the season they'll get better. They'll start to gel more. Brady 8th time in his career, including the playoffs. He's had 300 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. Also passing.
It's the GOAT right there.
He was playing like that OG Tom Brady last night. The original form. Yeah, I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, in my eyes, he had kind of a rocky start coming in.
Yeah, he did.
And it was too early to question it, but we were kind of questioning whether, Tom Brady was still gonna be the Tom Brady we grew up watching. But after what I saw last night, he still got it. And I feel like, with the weapons he has around him, he's in a position where he could have his best year. Everyone around him. You got Gronk, Mike Evans,
crazy weapons.
Goodwin, and you even got Fournette in the back. Like,
Okay, how it got hurt.
stats wise, if there was ever a year for Tom Brady to have a big year, it should be this year.
He's on his LeBron year.
I don't think he's had talent like this since Randy Moss was on the.
Now, where are they going to finish? They'll make it to the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to win, division or anything like that. With who they got to go against, I don't think it's going to happen. But they could finish like 10-6, 11-5, make it to the playoffs.
Small shout out to Justin Herbert. For the most part, kept up with Brady. They kept it competitive. Another great young quarterback, potentially.
These rookie quarterbacks,
It's kind of crazy because it's like Tyrod Taylor. He's been the placeholder for so many quarterbacks to get their starting spot, bro.
Big cat guy.
Baker, Justin Herbert. I feel like it was somebody else too.
He used to be real. Tyrod Taylor used to be
For the Bills.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, especially shout out to for those that know Tyrod Taylor, Virginia Tech beast. Speaking of dogs, Lamar Jackson and Ravens execute the Washington football team, who still don't have a mascot.
Oh yeah.
31-17, no real surprises here. Washington is 1-3 and second in the NFC East. That is a terrible division.
Fighting for another top 3 pick. That's what they're playing for.
What division is going to be
Trevor Lawrence.
We have Lamar doing does 3 touchdowns. No surprises there.
Y'all see that run? That 50-yard run?
Yeah, highlight run.
But who?
Lamar.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I love Lamar, man. Lamar's my guy, but he does great against bad competition.
It's going to be interesting how they do in playoffs if they're able to answer the bell this time. Titans took them out last year, so we'll see if they can make the necessary steps. And he can make the necessary steps from going to. It's almost like a Giannis situation when I think about it. When I take a step back. With Lamar struggling in the playoffs, Giannis struggling in the playoffs, now can they take that next step and leap into. They're already considered elite players, but truly that elite top tier.
I feel like the biggest thing, honestly, for the Ravens, I feel like their issue isn't really the offense.
Yes.
No,
It's always been a matter of their defensive core in terms of linebackers and a line. Like they always have secondaries, but in the past, year or two, they've kind of been lacking linebackers. Ever since you see.
Sucks going on.
Slowly everyone's left. They never really fill those holes.
Right.
Like Patrick Queen, he's solid, but he's young.
Yeah, he's young. So, see how that goes for them. The Panthers upset the Cardinals, 31-21.
Panthers won.
Hey,
I was
all
telling
because Kyler had an alright game, but he couldn't really get out yards. Like he was giving them the ball, but it wasn't in the right place where he could really take it anywhere.
Only 41 yards on 7 receptions. Kyler actually had a low passing yards day for him and for a Cliff Kingsbury offense. 133 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Teddy Bridgewater, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 276. Mike Davis filling in for CMC, had 16 carries, 84 yards, a touchdown. Big win for the Panthers. They're now 2-2. Arizona taking a step back here. 2 straight losses. They're 2-2. Still early in the season. I expect them to probably recover and be one of the better teams. Though they're in a very tough division with the Seahawks and the Rams and the 49ers. Even though the 49ers are missing some injuries right now. Very interesting to see what those 2 teams. All right, Vikings and the Texans. Vikings 31, Texans 23. Texans are 0-4.
That's what happens when you trade the best receiver in the league for a running back.
Do not know why they got
Injury from a running back.
That really was
Bill O'Brien need to be fired right now.
I feel bad for Deshaun though, because I feel like he has potential to be a top 10, like, top 10, top 5, top quarterback.
That was a good duo.
He has Brandon Cooks is a solid receiver, but that's not the first option.
It's not DeAndre. It's not DeAndre.
On any good team, that's the second option. So what happened? What?
Bill
I
O'Brien.
don't see what the Texans could really do to fix their issue. Like there's so many issues as a Houston Texan.
Bill O'Brien happened, bro.
It's not really a market. No one wants to go to Houston. No one wants to play in Houston. Everyone that goes to Houston is like the average player. That's all they do. They're like the Hornets of the NBA. They're like the Hornets of the NFL. Like, just who wants to go there? All their players they draft. They never have a big sign.
Yeah, you're right. All they are.
You said what?
Melo coming to Charlotte.
Melo coming to Charlotte.
Melo good.
We gotta speak it into.
So you got Mikey Williams and Melo in the same city.
Pretty much.
Two of the hyped high school prospects.
So you saying Charlotte finna be a good market?
I feel like within the next few years it could be.
They finna have a lot of bread. You know how Jordan do with bread. He signed role players to match contracts.
Draymond Green, 2022.
Draymond
Green to Charlotte, 2022.
Oh gosh.
Rams took out the Giants, 17-9. I'm gonna take this time to speak about the worst division in football, the NFC East. The Eagles took out the 49ers last night, which pushed them to the top of the division at 1-2-1. Then it's the Redskins. Oh, excuse me, no longer Redskins. Sorry. The Washington football team at 1-3.
That just sound bad. The
Washington.
Everyone was saying Red Tail, Washington Red Tail, they didn't want to do it.
And Cowboys at 1-3, and of course, the New York Giants. The Saquon Barkley list, New York Giants.
They just not looking good.
And
That
so-
whole-
They have no team outside of Saquon. That's the only player for the Giants that really play football.
Yeah.
So I don't think they might be the next Browns. They might go 0-16.
I would hate to be a New York sports fan in general. Like all around.
All of them besides the Yankees.
You got the
Like,
Nets.
Besides Brooklyn, what you got?
Well, yeah, the Yankees and the Mets.
Yankees in it.
And I don't even know about Brooklyn yet, because Kyrie said
By default, bro, KD gonna do KD.
KD gonna do what he gonna do, but you heard
Oh yeah,
Kyrie
hold
said.
on. We're gonna re-record that NBA part, and we'll go back to that.
Alright.
But yeah, New York sports teams are on tonight. Colts took out the Bears, 19-11. Philip Rivers, I guess, is doing a pretty good job.
That Colts defense.
Colts defense.
Yeah, you gotta give it up to the Colts defense.
Colts offensive line, Quentin Nelson. That's actually Chicago's first loss this year. Josh Allen continues to prove me wrong. I said he wasn't going to be that dude. His film in Wyoming wasn't all that impressive. While the Bills are 4-0, probably going to win the AFC East. The way this is going, took out the Raiders 30-23. Josh Allen had 288 and 2 touchdowns.
The Bills ain't been good in years.
Hey, Josh Allen single-handedly changed that, though.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs, 6 receptions, 115 yards.
I used to forget about the Bills, like they were even
But honestly, I feel like Josh Allen is the most slept-on over quarterback in the NFL. Like, we be forgetting Josh Allen can run. He can throw, like, he has an arm, like, a top 3 arm in the league, like, up there with Patrick Mahomes, but he can run at the same time. Like, I think there was one game where he almost touched 100 yards. You're not going to see Baker Mayfield doing that, but Baker Mayfield was a quarterback. Yeah, don't count that boy Josh.
He almost touched 100 yards.
Yeah, I'm 100 yards. Not this season, but like last season. It was game of 100 yards.
Had all the physical tools. Bills have done a good job developing him, and you're seeing this paying off. Of course, in the finale, Sunday Night Football, the Eagles and the 49ers. Eagles won 25-20. Carson Wentz, I mean, they won, but he's still looking very suspect. A far cry from the almost MVP season, 2 years ago?
Yeah. I think it's about that time to part ways. Yeah, that boy Jalen Hurts a chance. When's the last time Carson Wentz finished the season? Like, actually finished when he started.
I mean, ever since he got hurt that first time, he just hasn't been the same.
Training the senior, he always helps.
Yeah.
Nick Mullins threw one of the worst pick sixes I've ever seen in my life. Doing straight to the linebacker. I can't even, looking at that video, I can't even point out that he was throwing it to a receiver because the receiver was guarded pretty closely. And
Wait, pull up the video.
let me see if I can pull it up.
Bro.
Hey, bro, that's the type of pick that gets you released. After the game, you getting cut.
Who was open in that area? Who was even in
I
that
just
area?
saw white. He's still gonna throw the
Because
ball.
look, if he's throwing it to him, you gotta put it outside or over.
Even if
and
he
it's
wasn't
still
there, that ball was getting picked regardless.
I mean, just an amazing throw to the wrong team. So yeah, I don't know what Nick Mullins was doing there. Injuries starting to catch up for the 49ers. MetLife Stadium kind of took them out pretty bad. Mozart, Garoppolo. Yeah, that's the NFL. Going to college football. FAU beat us. As you know, we are the Charlotte.
Wait, so we're 0-2?
We are 0-2. Willie Taggart, former Florida State coach, gets his first win at FAU. And we took the L.
I'm disappointed in us. We really should have beat at, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should have, if you watch, I only watched a little bit of the game.
We missed.
We just haven't been able to close games. That's been our
Yeah.
problem this year.
Like against at, we were up for a little bit of the game. Really? Maybe the first half.
Yeah. Couldn't close the game. Reynolds played better this week. Couldn't get it done. Hopefully we get it done next week. We'll see what happens. We got a lot of away games, so I think we're still away next week. I forget who we're playing. Florida took out South Carolina 38-24. Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts continue to be the dynamic duo. Kyle Pitts is pretty clearly the best tight end in the country. He scored 6 touchdowns in 6 straight quarters, I think that was. All right, for the second straight week, Oklahoma and Spencer Rattler took another L. Iowa State got them up out of here 37-30. It's not looking good for Oklahoma. They are now unranked for the first time since like 2016.
I thought Oklahoma was supposed to be a top 25 team.
Yeah.
This that change in quarterback for the first time. It ain't work out how it was supposed to work out. You had Baker Mayfield to Colin, and then Kyler to Jalen. Everyone thought Spence coming into it. Spencer was supposed to be, that next, game-changing quarterback, but we're just not seeing it right now.
I think he's going through some growing pains. He keeps playing like a freshman, especially late in the game. 2 straight weeks, cost the interception at the end. But Oklahoma's big problem has been their big problem for a while now. It's why they keep getting dumped like last year against LSU in the playoff. They have no defense. They have absolutely no defense. Bookie looked like a superstar coming out of high school. He has been a liability in the secondary since. Oklahoma has these 1 or 2 great players on defense, but the rest of them are just bombs, pretty much. And then the Big 12, where everybody can score, they get exposed. So let's go with them. Alabama did what Alabama does, 52-24, took out Texas A&M. They remain undefeated. Mac Jones looked pretty good.
Alabama always gonna do their thing, no matter what. Like, you can always count on Alabama to be good.
Looked like they headed back to the playoff now. So Najee Harris played a good game. Of course, Alabama stacked the receiver John Mechie, Jalen Riddell, Waddle, excuse me. Played great games. North Carolina and Boston College played a very good game. I watched that one. The onside kick they got at the end was kind of suspect, but Sam Howell, one of the best quarterbacks in the game. Dewey does. Jurgovich for Boston College. Another great quarterback in the ACC. ACC seems to have a lot of those this year, so that's dope. Very anxious to see how Boston College does. North Carolina now a top 10 team. I think they're number 8.
I was surprised when I seen that because it's been like a couple of years.
North Carolina, I don't remember growing up North Carolina being good at football.
It's because they're always seen as a basketball school.
It was always, if it was a team that was ranked North Carolina football-wise, it was NC State. North Carolina always been like, if you look at North Carolina kind of like football-wise, they was never really that school.
Mac Brown did a great job. Texas legend, and now it looks like he might become a North Carolina legend. Doing wonders coaching-wise. Georgia beat Auburn. Stetson Bennett, former walk-on for Georgia, played another great game. He might be the answer for quarterback. I don't know. I'm still a big JT Daniels guy. We'll see. Bo Nix of Georgia take out Auburn. Auburn, very interested to see how the rest of the season goes. I'm not sold on Bo Nix at all. So we'll see. Last thing I got for college football, Texas also. I don't know what's going on in the Big 12. Texas got taken out by TCU, 33-31. Shout out to Chris Peterson. He's gone through 4 different conferences now with TCU. They're still winning. Max Duggan, shout out for TCU, the quarterback. Sam Ehlinger played a solid game for Texas, not really his fault. Once again, defense letting these top tier Big 12 schools down in these games. And, yeah, it's awesome.
When was the last time Texas really lived up to their name for real?
That's the thing I was talking about with Miami.
Like,
And the same thing with Florida.
it's been a little minute.
When was the last time? Like the last time I remember it's been now.
That was the early.
That's the last time I remember.
Last time
It
Texas
might have
has
been-
been
it might have been
Texas.
sooner.
Wasn't that early 2000s?
That was early 2000.
Yeah, it was early 2000.
Early 2000.
Colt McCoy. I'm pretty sure. Same thing going on in like Miami. Them trying to bring the U back, even though they're playing phenomenal this year. I think they need to hold back on hold. The U is back. Florida State definitely is not back. I didn't have them in my notes, but they were down 21-7 to Jacksonville State, led by Clemson transfer quarterback Zaire Cooper. Jacksonville State is an FCS school.
That's bad football.
That's bad football.
Now Florida State came back and won, but
The fact that happened.
Yeah, the fact that happened, bro. Like, that's
For an FBS school, that's
To an FCS.
happened.
I'm not sure how long Coach Mark Norwood is going to last at Florida State. Last, before I get to the kind of the roundup and us just kind of talking about whatever, is I have to talk about the MLB playoffs since it started. I'm a Yankees fan. We took out Cleveland. Shane Bieber, top pitcher, probably going to win the Cy Young this year. Finally had an off game, thank you. When our offense showed up, New York gets the win, they move on. We'll be taking on Tampa Bay, who had the best record in the AL this year. They just beat Toronto. Toronto, a lot of young superstars on that team, but Tampa Bay might have some team of destiny thing going on. I'm gonna hold off on making predictions for who will be here. Just kind of go along with it. Houston took out Minnesota. Everybody's least favorite team, the Houston Astros, after they cheated to a World Series title, as we all know. Correa talking in the
Bagging on trash cans.
But you know, Minnesota has lost, I think, 18 or 19 straight playoff games. So that should tell you about the quality of opponents.
That's bad baseball.
Very much so. Oakland shocked the White Sox. I had the White Sox winning that series, but A's get it done. Now they take on Houston. We'll see how that series goes. If they can continue to elevate as they play each opponent. That seems to have been what the recurring theme is. They've played up to opponents and played down to opponents. So we'll see what the Athletics do. Miami and the Cubs. Miami's Cinderella story continues. They have absolutely nobody of note on that team. But, you know, sometimes the team is bigger as a whole. As we know, with the Angels got Mike Trout, best player in baseball. But you haven't seen me talk about them. They're not a playoff team. Got the best player in baseball, they're not a playoff team. Marlins weren't supposed to do anything, but they're here. Made it through the wild card round. They'll take on the Dodgers, and I think that's where their playoff run will end, as the Dodgers have the best record in the MLB, and of course we're the World Series favorites heading into the season. Mookie Betts showing out, Clayton Kershaw, y'all know the whole deal with the Dodgers if you follow baseball. They beat the Brewers. San Diego, Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado, one of the best duos in the MLB. Showed up big time against the Cardinals. Padres move on, and of course, lastly, Atlanta beats Cincinnati. ATL got a good young team. A lot of great young superstars in the MLB right now. So, all right, Roundup here, as I've covered all of my topics here for today. I'll speak, and then y'all can just kind of go and spitball. Stanley Cup Finals. Tampa Bay won. Victor Hedman won the Conn Smythe, best defenseman probably in the NHL. They won in 6 games. Quite the turnaround, similar to the Virginia Cavaliers in college basketball, how they went, lost in the first round as the #1 seed, and then came back, won the championship the next year. Same thing going on with the Lightning, so credit to them. For the WNBA, I guess I covered the ladies a little bit. Seattle Storm up 2-0 against Las Vegas Aces. Asia Wilson, MVP for the Aces. But Brianna Stewart has stolen the show. She had 37 and 15, which for also a lot of people wondering why the numbers are down. For WNBA, like stats-wise, compared to the NBA. For those that don't know, the WNBA plays shorter games, so that's why you only see leading scorer with like a 20-piece, while in the NBA we got Harden with averaging 30 pieces in the week. So Stewie averaging 37 and 15, that's huge. Sue Bird, U17, one of the greatest point guards in WNBA history, in women's basketball history, 16 assists.
She can't guard.
She cannot guard Trev.
Yeah.
Sue, if for some reason you see this and want to come to UNC Charlotte in one-on-one, Trev.
Ready for something? Add to that, bro.
Put your head.
If you come to UNC Charlotte, you will get busted.
Oh.
Just put that out there. No, I'm playing. She got it.
Soccer-wise, Premier League, real chaotic. Spurs beat Man U like 6-1, and then defending champions. Liverpool lost 7-2, which even for y'all that don't really know soccer like that, that's crazy scores.
That just sound bad.
Like, that's bad. That's
That's
bad
bad
soccer.
soccer.
Bad soccer.
That's bad football.
Liverpool paid for playing a high line. Who they was? They lost to Aston Villa. Jack Grealish played great.
He never heard of it. He never heard of this.
We had chaos in the Premier League, excuse me. College basketball recruiting, #9 player in the country, #1 point guard in the country, J.D. Davison. Stupid bunnies. He committed to Alabama, so be good for them.
You think that's a good fit for them?
I ain't gonna lie, Alabama, they do good point guards, bro.
Yeah, Colin Sexton.
Since like college with them, bro.
I think they got
They're doing pretty
Javon
good.
Quinn.
They got Quinn, yeah, they got Quinn right now.
Kyron
Quinn
Lewis.
Lee at the 1, JD at the 2.
I don't think, well, I think,
We'll see if Jeremiah.
is he eligible right now?
Yeah, I think he's
so.
eligible this year. I think he
Yeah.
was out last season. He's eligible.
Alright, cool. Cause I need my man, I need Quinn to go off, bro.
If you want to go to the league,
If he wanna go to the league, he gotta go off.
So, appreciate y'all watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Finally got some guests on the show. We'll see if they'll be back. Y'all want to come back?
Always.
Facts. Remember, stay hydrated, all that stuff. Be safe out here. COVID still going around. But yeah, wear your mask. Like I said, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for the support. Ocho, signing off.